Got it.
Okay. So in your opinion, just talking to Suki about, like, in terms of like the landfill is about to run out of space and like.
Oh yeah, they already broke ground for a new one.
Oh really? Okay.
They're building it.
Okay, nice. Is it in? Is it next to the?
It's next to the existing landfill. They had to expand over into Oglethorpe County, I believe.
Okay, but Oglethorpe was already sending some of their like stuff to Athens, right? So this.
I'm pretty sure we just like bought property.
Okay.
Like it's like right beside it.
Okay.
I think it's Oglethorpe County.
Okay.
I think they had to like cross the line. But yeah, in Athens, kind of like the way everything works, because there are private haulers, and then there's also like the Athens-Clarke County recycling and landfill collections. We do end up like picking up from other areas, but yeah, the thing with the landfill is like right now it's a really cool project that's under construction, just because the layering is very extensive, and like you can see all of the necessities for that on like any EPA website. And they've been doing like a time lapse of it. So you'll be actually able to see like once it's built, everything that went into it to protect like the soil and then the groundwater. But it is really weird though, expanding on a new landfill, just because I feel like landfills right now were definitely projected to have a longer life, and like we're cutting them so short just because of planned obsolescence, because of like this huge consumption that we have, and people just aren't seeing that, because landfills are obviously zoned to be like not a sight for sore eyes. You don't want to also like near a lot of like big infrastructure and stuff, because if there is a leak and it contaminates the groundwater, if there's like some issues with it, like the methane like collections, it can be bad. So it's like
Yeah. Because like just talking to her about that, and the fact that like I think they submitted 2 SPLOST proposals for like building of a new MRF, but one of them like I don't think might have passed, and the other one was like passed but at half funding. And she was sort of just talking about like the future of recycling maybe is a little more unknown, just because of like with all of the end markets now are domestic for the United States, and like she was also mentioning that Georgia doesn't really have an office like statewide for recycling to be a big like issue, I guess, for states, like for Georgia to care about, for citizens to care about.
Right.
What do you think is the future of recycling in Georgia? From your, I guess, like our younger perspective.
Gotcha. So currently Georgia is second to California in recycling, which a lot of people might think is staggering just because we're in the South. But I do think because of the businesses that are invested in recycling that we will continue. I think it's going to be, obviously we've seen it, like it's a lot harder for municipalities. A lot of people are confused why people aren't taking glass anymore. Some people aren't taking like certain types of plastic. Paper might have to be separated. So there's a lot of different nuances, but with these added regulations and stipulations, it just helps for a cleaner material. And then also the people that are taking the time to separate their recycling in certain municipalities that demand that, it's going to be the quality stuff. So at least that county or like that city is going to be able to sell off that and be competitive in the recycling market, because in the United States, it has gotten so much more competitive, where in Georgia, we could have been like one of the top vendors for aluminum for Novelis. Now we're really fighting with a lot of other people. And because we do have a single stream, other materials do get filtered into sort of that aluminum baling. So in places like where it's source separated, it might be a little more valuable. So I do think recycling will continue, and I think that it will increase, because I think that people will find the innovation for it to increase. Right now it's just like a really tough and unsure time for it, but
Because
like
China?
Because of the green sword. So I think that like with any other like trial or like tribulation with anything, especially in regards to like things that are like boosting our economy, there will be a way to figure it out. But I think that the main thing that we can do is actually follow the recycling guidelines. So reduce, reuse, recycle, rather just being like, oh, like this is recyclable, okay. because we definitely have a part in that material source, and then we have a part of diverting it. So it's just gonna, it's gonna be dependent on Georgians, and how we are making our materials clean, how we're making them valuable for our state. Because, you know, like we were saying earlier, like there's a disconnect between people like thinking that they have power to do stuff like that, or thinking that like their part matters. But I mean, you know, I work at the recycling division. I'm not the only person that recycles. So it's a group effort that needs to be actualized.
Sweet. Thank you.